Hey y'all, welcome back to Mamamoo Tarot. So, listen, y'all gonna be like, here we go again with this love stuff. I mean, that's how I be feeling about it too, because I don't be trying to ship nobody together. But this video is going to be on Jin from BTS and Moonbyul. I believe that's how you pronounce it, Moonbyul. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. Correct me, please. But from Mamamoo? Yeah, Mamamoo. She's from Mamamoo, Moonbyul, and obviously Jin is from BTS. But we about to just see like what's the nature of their relationship. I'm gonna be honest, it's looking like some sort of love relationship, something there, but we will see. All right, I started off with just how do they feel towards each other. All right, so for Jin, we have Jin viewing Moonbyul as an angel of sorts. He sees her very kind, very beautiful. He thinks that, you know, she's just very angelic, you know, and she's beautiful, and that's how he sees her, and he wants to care for her. He cares about her very, very much. Okay, but I do see with Student in Reverse, she's another one that doesn't learn from her mistakes, and you know, possibly doesn't like to listen, and chooses to create her own rules and do things her own way, and can be very, you know, arrogant with her ways, you know, stuck in her ways. That's what we'll say. We'll say she's stuck in her ways. She could be a little bit arrogant with how she chooses to behave, and you know, she thinks she knows it all and that she doesn't have anything more to get from another person to where she would take their guidance or advice over hers, you know. And then lastly, we have the engineer. So Jin feels like she, you know, has this creative energy about her. She has a lot of solutions, because I'm looking at the card says resolution. She has a lot of creativity. She has a lot of ideas, things like that. But sometimes maybe she doesn't think about the emotional implications with this engineer, right? That's someone who's, you know, a little bit more cold, or a little bit more calculated, not necessarily in a negative way, but sometimes she does things and she doesn't think about the emotional implications because she thinks head over heart first. She's someone who's very, you know, logical, and that's what he likes about her. He does like the fact that she's very logical and that she, you know, is solution based, and she's like, hey, let's get to the resolution instead of constantly going over the problem. And yeah, she's just really good at coming up with solutions and creating things and engineering things in her mind, and that's great and all. And he thinks that that's awesome, but at the same time, he's like, sometimes she don't think about the emotional side of things and how people feel and how emotions play into the reality of life and people, that even if they are, you know, human, they're not a robot. Everyone's not going to be like her and be able to control their, you know, have all the emotional control and stability and understanding and all that stuff. So he sees her as very, you know, balanced and in control when it comes to her emotions and things like that. And, you know, sometimes she could be a little cold or, you know, not so kind-hearted when it comes to making her decisions or whatever the case may be. And he wishes that he could be a lot more emotionally regulated like she is. But he definitely sees her as a sweetheart with this angel coming out here. How does Moonbyul, we'll just call her Moon for the video, how does Moon feel about Jin? Well, listen, we got 2 child cards coming out in reverse. It's funny, aren't they both, because when I googled them, it said that they was both a part of some club that was born in the same year, or some 93 club or something like that. But I thought that was interesting that 2 cards came out about childhood years and you know, those that inner child. So there's definitely a lot of wounds that she can see on him with this child wounded in reverse and child divine in reverse. So she can tell that, you know, he could be a little bit naive with this child divine in reverse, that he sometimes thinks that people are, you know, he thinks everyone's kind and you know, gonna do. He doesn't always see the darker side of things, okay? Remember, she's emotionally regulated. She's not naive. She knows that there's people out there that's cold and calculated, because she's not, you know, overly emotional. She knows what that's like, what the other side of it is like to be cold. Him, he's very naive, and so not in a bad way, but, you know, it's just that sometimes he can end up in relationships that harm him, friendships that harm him, business deals, partnerships. He just end up making wrong decisions because he's very naive when it comes to his thought process process and things that he does. He just kind of is like a, like a leaf, like a child blowing in the wind. And, sometimes she's like, can you just grow up? Like, you need to be more smart. You need to be more sound thinking with your decision making and stop being so innocent and all that, because people will take advantage of your innocence, basically, is what she sees. So she feel like sometimes he don't always defend himself or stand up for himself against the shit that he should. Excuse my language. Also with the child wounds, it's like that's another reason. Maybe she sees a lot of his inner childhood wounds. She sees that he has a lot of things that still sort of weighing on his heart heavy, that kind of is bothering him when it comes to childhood wounds. I'm looking at these boxes, like it's certain boxes that he still hasn't checked off when it comes to his healing, all right, and the work that he needs to do as far as that. So it says blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resist moving on through forgiveness. So that's what she's noticing, right, with the checkered past or whatever. He has a checkered past, and a lot of that childhood wounds he doesn't seem to take accountability for, and know that he has to kind of forget. Well, he don't have to forget, but he does have to forgive for himself to be able to move on and be happy. So she wants him to stop lashing out of childhood wounds, right, and like grow up and be mature, stand up for himself against negative people, like really face those childhood wounds and the shadow work and the healing that he needs to do for himself, especially when it comes to his music. Like she's saying, you can use your art with the artist here. You can use your creativity to speak about a lot of those things and sort of heal those wounds, all right? You can use your art to channel that energy and learn to forgive so that you can move on. But she definitely feels like he is, an artist, true and true. She's, he's kind of like a muse for her. They're like, they're muses for each other, and they like that, they bond over them being artists and being able to express themselves creatively through music and art and things like that. And yeah, they understand that, things in life happen symbolically, and she wants him to sort of see that. She wants him to pay attention more to the symbols, right, and the symbolism and the things that has happened to him, and use that to sort of what's the word? Use that to prompt his healing. Like use that to catapult him into the healing. He's carrying a lot of burdens, y'all. I cannot make it up. He's carrying a lot of burdens with the Ten of Wands. Yeah, Ten of Wands, Empress, and the Wheel of Fortune. So this is the issue. You got this guy that's carrying Jin, who's carrying a lot of burdens and a lot of stresses, and then you got this woman who's saying you need to focus on working hard, you need to focus on your future, you need to focus on turning things in your favor, right? You need to stop carrying the burdens, you need to release that. So let God, the divine. She's just offering him that wisdom on how to focus on the beauty in things and focus on the happiness and the light side of life instead of focusing on what could go wrong or the bad side or those, she wants him to really face his inner childhood wounds with this Wheel of Fortune. Accept the truth with the Ace of Wands. Like the ancestors saying, he needs to accept the truth for what it is. Like he needs to take accountability, all right? Take accountability for things that have happened and sort of get that clarity that he needs so that he can push through and move forward. He's dealing with a lot of sleepless nights, okay? He's dealing with a lot of sleepless nights, all right? And the energy is very pouty. You see how this person is with their arms crossed, and he's like, I'm tired of, going through this anxiety, this stress, this depression, all these nightmares, all these worrying. And just so you know, guys, when I'm talking about lovers, two people can always have love for each other. Do not feel like that because people didn't have sexual relations. We didn't talk about them having sexual relations. We didn't talk about any of that. We talk about two people who love each other. And two people can be in love, and two people can love each other without being in a relationship or feeling entitled to each other. That is to me, a low vibrational, carnal kind of like human concept that you have to be chained to the one that you love for the rest of your life. That's not how that works. You can love somebody and they be 10 million miles away. All right. So we got to detach from this idea that because two people love each other, that means they have to be in a relationship. When I talk about Jenny and Lisa, yes, the two of them love each other. It doesn't mean that they had a, sexual encounter or relationship. They could have, but regardless of all that, they loved each other and they have love for each other. So we got to start separating that. So that way we're not in the comments saying, oh, this person's not LGBTQ, this person's not. It has nothing to do with that. Love and loving someone has to do with the inside. It has nothing to do with what you see in the physical on the outside, all right? So that was just a quick sidebar that I wanted to throw in there. But he's going through a lot of anxiety and stress, right? Because of those childhood wounds. He has nights where, he has a rough time sleeping, where he's up overthinking late at night, just constantly thinking over things, and wishing that maybe things went differently, or that he could change the outcome, or change how people view him, change how people see him, and just, be more satisfied with his life. That's really what he's looking for, is some more satisfaction when it comes to life. And his ancestors, the guides, they're saying that he needs to get focused on getting mental clarity first, right? Because his mind is in a lot of he's going through a lot of turmoil. He has to get his head clear, he has to get his mind clear before he'll be able to see any changes in his actual foundation. But once he does get that clarity, then he'll understand that, things are actually working in his favor, that he's blessed, he's highly favored, that God has him protected, that he has good luck on his side, that things will work out for him, and that, there's actually less to worry about than he actually thinks. A lot of it is in his mind, and if he can, forgive himself and do the healing work that he needs to do, then shoot, everything's gonna work out for him. That's pretty much what she's trying to tell, what Moonbyul is trying to tell Jin. So that's what I have as far as how they feel about each other. Let's split the deck for the energy in between them. All right, we got Goddess, Virgin, and Storyteller. All righty, this is what I said. Didn't I say that he was like a Puritan, right? He has this pure energy about him. He's coming out as the Virgin here, right? And she's coming out as the Goddess. And we have Storyteller. She's saying you need to heal those inner childs. He tells her, they've talked about a lot. All right, there's a lot of conversations. There's a lot that she knows when it comes to his life and what he's been through, and some of his deepest, darkest, fears and wounds, and just, she knows some sad stories. All right, she knows about the things that he has been through, and she's definitely, the energy between them is that they're there for each other to talk. All right, and that they know each other's secrets, and they keep each other's secrets, and they hold each other's secrets. That's what they do, and they encourage each other to sort of heal and do the work. But I am seeing what the goddess coming out. He does view her as a goddess. He see her, as somebody very sensual, somebody very beautiful. All right, he thinks that she's very feminine, and she has a beautiful way of expressing that feminine nature, and he loves that about her. Right, she has a very sensual nature that he appreciates. And I told you, like, they see each other as a muse. All right, so they usually, they see each other as a muse when it comes to their storytelling and their music. And so this card says ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. I cannot make it up. This is what they do. They use their music and their art to express their stories and express life and express everything that they're going through. And they exchange stories. They talk about it with each other. Like they possibly make music together, write songs together. So because like I said, he comes out as this very Puritan energy. Both of these cards have hearts on it. So like I said, it's a lot about love. Okay. And listen, I cannot make it up. She's like, I do not want you in damsel energy. She don't want him in the energy of feeling like he has to be, have self-doubt, or she wants him to fully rely on himself, fully believe in himself, fully be self-confident and love himself. She's encouraging him to love himself. This is all about love, self-love, and putting the energy into you so that he knows that he really is of the divine with this priest in reverse. It's like he denies himself that divine energy that he has. It's like he doesn't trust in himself, and he doesn't trust in the divine, and channeling and understanding that he is a channel and that he has a spiritual connection with the divine. So she's wanting him to reawaken that and connect to God and connect to a higher power and a higher source, so that he can start having self-confidence and believing in himself, and staying away from any type of bullying energies. With this bully and femme fatale in reverse. He has to transmute the energy, is basically what she is saying, right? With this alchemist, she's trying to help him alchemize and transmute all of those bullying situations that he's been in, where people have taken advantage of you, all right, where he's felt intimidated by other people. It's a lot about him having anxiety, fears, intimidation, like being afraid, and she's saying you need to start alchemizing that energy from all of the negative stuff that you've been through. Like if he was, a victim of childhood bullying, and people talking a lot about, I don't know, his his looks or whatever the case may be, or women possibly, you know, talking about him negatively or saying, oh, I don't like him, or, you know, with the femme fatale in reverse, not being attracted to him, or him not being able to have, you know, a solid relationship or a woman that he could trust that wasn't trying to like seduce him in the past. She's saying you need to transform that, all right? Instead of focusing on women and sensuality and seduction, you need to use your sacral energy for your music, all right? Alchemize your sacral energy into creative energy. Your creative energy, your sacral energy is tied. Okay, they're tied together, your sacral and your creative energy. So when you feel that lust and that sexual energy and all of that coming over you, it just means that you have a lot of pent up creative energy that you need to expel. All right, and yes, you could do it through the form of sexual intercourse, but there's so many other ways that you could do it. You can do it through art and expression, right? You could do it through the music that you're actually putting out there with this damsel. And where's that artist card? Sorry, it's right here. Yeah, you can use that. You can use symbolism to express yourself, right? You can have healthy relationships. You can have positive relationships, and you can get the silver lining out of the relationships that you've been through that weren't so healthy, right? Anything that wasn't healthy, anything that was, you know, those type of femme fatale, like, you know, good girl gone bad type energies, and you know, those fatal feminine energies that he has dealt with. He has to get the silver lining and see the positive side of things, all right, how it's made him better, so that he can transform and alchemize that and use it in his music. That's what she's telling him. Alchemize it. Instead of always having love on the brain, I can't make it up, with love on the brain being on the top of this deck, instead of always fantasizing and worrying about love, you need to move on from that and use that to give you motivation. All right, this is what she's saying. Move on from this idea of having love on the brain all the time. All right, so wow, Moonbyul is a good friend. Shout out to Moonbyul. All right, tell me a little bit more about these two. Give me some tea on these two. All right, we're gonna do Moonbyul on top and Jin on the bottom, about what these two are going through right now at the time. Let's see if we can get some more tea on this. What they're going through. It's a lot of inner turmoil. All right, things is looking very cloudy. With this roommate diplomat sticking out to me, you know, everything is not so black and white right now. Things is not so clear. It's a little bit murky. He's going through a lot. Yeah, his emotions is all over the place. Look at this card. It's waves and waves of emotions that he is going through. And I think because of that, with this roommate diplomat in reverse, the two of them might not necessarily be on the same page right now. Okay, because I'm seeing chronic multitasker and inbox zero hero. So they might not be talking as much as they normally do. Could be overworking, focusing on whatever task they have to get done. You know, whatever things that they need to be focusing on. But I am seeing that she is telling him to dodge those addictions, all right? Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be addictions as in liquor or drugs. It could be women, all right? He could be addicted to women. And she's telling him that you need to separate, all right? You need to be smarter. You need to be wiser. You need to make better decisions and stop putting yourself in a situation where you could be abused, whether that's by friends, whether that's by exes, whoever it is that's coming in and trying to attach themselves to him. Moonbyul is telling Jin to stop allowing himself to have all these attachments around him. I can't make it up. I cannot make it up. I cannot make it up. This is crazy. All right, so that's Moonbyul, and then let's see how it's Jin. Listen, he's worried. He's worried about the wrong things, bro. He is totally worried about the wrong things. All right, so we got Moonbyul, excuse me, because now I'm thinking of Mingyu, excuse me. Moonbyul, who's telling him that, you know, he needs to go ahead and get control of these bad habits, all right? This is what she's telling him, these toxicities, these addictions, whatever it is that he's doing, she's telling him that he needs to put that to rest, all right? With this wolf in sheep's clothing coming out in reverse. She's saying that he needs to stop being afraid. He needs to stop fearing being his true self and being his authentic self, and he needs to stop attaching himself to bad habits and toxic energy and toxic people, toxic females, toxic friends. Like, he needs to get away from all of that stuff, because these things are going to hold him back. Okay, I am seeing haunted in reverse, so it's all about the past and his inner childhood wounds. Now it's going back to that and everything that all of the traumas that he's already been through, that he hasn't healed and hasn't processed. She's letting him know that all of those unhealed emotions and the feelings and bad habits are not going to help him. All right, so let's get given the issue of she might possibly be kind of ghosting him right now. I'm not gonna lie, with this haunted in reverse. She don't want to, but she's kind of like, I can't talk to him while he's in this state of doing things that he shouldn't be doing. And he do not like feeling rejected. All right, that's the T. He do not like feeling rejected by her, with rejected coming out in reverse and in your head in reverse. He's all up in his head trying to figure out why she don't want to talk to him, why they haven't been. He's overanalyzing the situation. You know, he wants to know why aren't they on the same page as much as they used to be. Like, what's really the issue? And I'm also seeing shine. Your light irritates their demons. So this is what it is too. Like, he, you know, realistically, she's realizing that there's something about him, right, his demons, that's being irritated by her light, and vice versa. So he's understanding that he has to get it, you know, he has to get it together. All right, that's the T. It's like he's all up in his head. He don't want to feel rejected. He's overthinking instead of just making a decision to go to God. All right, to get in his Bible. Didn't I say she's telling him that he needs to go to a higher source, to God, to whoever he believes in, to sort of help him through this situation and overcoming these bad habits. She don't want nothing to do with that. All right, she don't want nothing to do with it. And if love is on the brain for him, she's like, I can't. All right, because I can't continue to be around toxicity. If they did have something where they was trying to, you know, have a relationship or have something more, she realized that she had to set that down. She had to put that in the past because he was not making healthy decisions here. I am seeing confession coming out in reverse, because now I'm being pulled to this confessions in reverse. So what is this confession? I want to know what this confession is, this hidden truth that she hasn't been able to tell him. That's why I'm like, I don't know if he, you know, exposed to her like, hey, this is what I want, and she was just like, no, you know, you got to stop being so desperate. You come off as very codependent, and I don't want nothing to do with that. You know, she probably wasn't, it probably didn't go over so well. That's what I'm getting from this confession in reverse, that she didn't really want to hear what he had to say. Yeah, I'm seeing gaslight on the bottom of the deck. So yeah, it was one of those things where she was just like, no, I feel like you will be manipulating me, and I'm not going to allow you to gaslight me or manipulate me into being in something that I don't want to be in. So let's see more about this confession in reverse. Listen, event in reverse, false promises and leverage. Listen, this is the confession, all right, that while you know, she loves him, she just feel like she cannot continue to, with the leverage and false promises, she cannot continue to believe in the false hope or whatever that he's given. All right, with the event in reverse, confirmation, she don't even want to talk about it no more. She don't feel like she could trust him anymore. Excuse me, she don't feel like, you know, he's the right person to continue to, you know, put her trust in, because she keeps giving him a million chances, and he keeps sabotaging it, right? Like, this is what he keeps telling her with the leverage. He keeps saying, I promise I'm gonna get better. This, my inner childhood wounds is this, is that. All of those venting, all of them things that he's told her in the past, he's using that as leverage to continue to make her false promises and not do better and not be better. And she's like, listen, I don't want to hear that shit no more. That's what that confession in reverse is. She's like, I don't want to hear it no more. Like, I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. You just keep giving me false promises. You need to go ahead and do better. All right? Like, and she feels like she can no longer trust him, because he keeps making false promises. All right, tell me more about this leverage. Listen, we got bad news in reverse. All right, so didn't I say he's always trying to make it seem like he's still working on it? Oh, I'm still working on it. Bad news in reverse. Like, no, it's not bad news, but it's not good news either. Okay, this is the thing. Every time she puts her trust in him, it turns out to be bad news. He never come back saying that anything has gotten better and that he's actually worked on anything. All right, so it's like, how is a person supposed to try to stick around for you when you're not actually willing to do the work? All right, so what is Moonbyul focusing on right now at this point? That's kind of what I want to know, is what is Moonbyul focused on at this time versus what he's focused on? Because obviously they're not on the same page. Their focus is in two different places. So I want to see, like, what are they actually focused on? One by one, all right, and we'll do Moonbyul on the top of the cards, and we'll pull for Jin off at the bottom. So tell me, what is Moon focusing on? Moonbyul, what is he focusing on right now versus what Jin is focused on right now? And like I said, Jin is the bottom of the deck, and Moonbyul is going to be pulled from the top. Thank you, ancestors. All right, Moonbyul. Yeah, Moonbyul is moving on. I can't make it up with the Page of Pentacles. She's trying to start something new, and she don't exactly know how she's gonna do it, but she's tired of the lies. She's tired of the deception. She's tired of the conflict. She's tired of the disagreements. Like, she just feel like this is an abusive relationship at this time. She totally feels bullied by him. Remember, bullies came out. So at this point, hurt people hurt people. So he already was being bullied by other people, right? But with this bullying femme fatale in reverse. He himself has this tendency of doing this, right? Being bullying towards women and aggressive and things like that. And she's trying to, she was trying to get him to change and to transmute that energy. And because he wasn't, she's like, no, I can't keep trying to help you heal. I can't keep trying to fix your childhood wounds for you and make you grow up and stop being so childish and be an adult and do what you need to do. She's like, I can't. I got to actually start manifesting something bigger. I actually got to start focusing on my desires. I got to start working hard with this Page of Pentacles, focusing on my career, focusing on my money, all right, financial opportunities. She feel like she's had minimal, opportunities when she's focusing on his drama and his BS and everything that he got going on. So with this Six of Swords, I'm sorry, she's moving forward. She's transitioning. She's looking for something better, and she's leaving all of that baggage and those burdens behind. All right, she is trying to move forward. What is Jin got going on? We got the Death card, the Two of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. Listen. And I can't make it up because it's the Seven of Swords behind that. So he's been getting away with a lot, all right? He's been in this trickster energy, right? He's been in this trickery where he's like, oh, yeah, I want to do better. I want to make plans, you know what I mean? But he's still trying to get street cred. He's still trying to make it happen where he's not wanted. He's still focused on toxicities and habits and things that he don't have no business with this Two of Wands. He's supposed to be digging deeper and actually going to discover what's going on with him. He should be going inside and doing the introspection. He's supposed to be making plans to do a complete 180 on his life and make better decisions, all right, with this transformation with the Death card here. That's what he's supposed to be focusing on, endings, all right, new beginnings. But instead, he's focusing on money. All right, that's what he's doing. Instead of doing the introspection and the healing work, the spiritual side of things, he's focusing on the financial side of things. All right, with this Knight of Pentacles, he's focused on, producing as much when it comes to music. Making sure he stick to his routine, being smart when it comes to his money. And he's not doing good with him showing up as the Knight. He's not doing great. Is possibly struggling. But let me see, what signs do we got out here? Aquarius, so heavy on the Aquarius, Scorpio, Aries, and then what's that? Aries again, so heavy on the Aries, and then Taurus. So yeah, he hasn't been making the best decisions, and I don't know what their zodiac signs are, but y'all have to tell me in the comments. But he's needing to really focus. That's what he needs to do. He needs to focus on his spiritual path and actually going to God and actually putting an end to these negative cycles and these habits and toxicities that he was involved in. All right, making better choices. That's what the two of them is focused on right now. He's more so focused on his money and still trying, like I said, still planning. All right, still trying to see how he can make things work and bring about a transformation, how he could change things with this Death and Two of Wands, how he could bring something back from the dead. Let me say that he wants to bring a relationship or whatever back from the dead, likely between them two, and she's trying to move on forward and stay away from his deception. So I don't know how that's going to work because she don't really trust him right now. She feels like he's in the energy of deceiving her and that there's deception afoot. So let's see what the outcome is going to be. Well, actually, no. I just want to see, are they in communication right now? And then lastly, we can see the outcome and sort of close it up. I do see misunderstanding on the bottom of the deck. So, he's trying to make it seem like it's a misunderstanding, and she don't know. He's doing the work. He's doing it, but it's all about the image. He's not actually putting in the work. He just wants to do something quickly to make it seem like he's done the work so that he could get back in her good graces, all right? That's what I'm seeing with this misunderstanding and obligation in reverse. Yeah, listen, she like, bro, you not listening to me? I'm not obligated to give you this advice no more. Like, with obligation and sage advice coming out of reverse. She's like, I'm not obligated to keep helping you. If you want to misunderstand me, if you want to be Mr. Misunderstood, if you want to be Mr. Unhealed, and I got all these problems, and I'm just so misunderstood, and people don't know. She's like, you could go ahead and keep that, all right? It's definitely she's definitely thank you next right now. She don't got time for that, and she don't want to hear it, all right? She's not curious anymore, all right? She's not curious anymore. He's mad because that was his safe space. All right, that's what he's upset about with the curious safe space and journey coming out in reverse. He's in under a lot of drama and chaos, and he's mad that she don't want to be involved with that no more. All right. He's mad that she's trying to get away from chaos and she making plans for something better. And so because she don't want to be involved with his drama no more, and she's putting an end to their their relationship right now, the journey is put to an end. He's definitely curious about whether or not she will continue to be a safe space for him, and definitely has plans to say I'm sorry. All right, I can't make it up. Plan and I'm sorry. He definitely plans on apologizing to her and seeing if he can get back in her good graces. But so yeah, I guess they're not communicating right now. But give me some more confirmation on the communication, and what is the communication between these two right now? Okay. I'm seeing no, feeling fragmented, cracking under pressure. No, paths are closed now, locked out, do not enter. No, obstacles too large, seek another way. Bro, no. All of these cards are no cards. They're not communicating. Not able to proceed close to negotiation. No, deception in the dark, truths hidden. This is crazy. No, yields are poor, effort wasted. She feel like her efforts have been wasted trying to help him to grow, all right, with this corn, trying to get him to stop being, so childish and so corny and make better decisions. Listen, half of this card has a skull on it. All right, he's wearing two faces. He's wearing a mask, and she's trying to get him to stop. But there was too much deception that was happening behind closed doors. All right, and now she's just finally decided to accept the truth that she's not going to be able to keep having a relationship with him, because right now they're like oil and water. They don't mix. All right, they on two opposite sides of the spectrum, and all of those and a blockage is being created possibly by her ancestors, because they don't want her involved with none of that toxicity, and they don't want her being taken advantage of anymore. So they're creating obstacles and blockages to stop them from being able to communicate. All right, because she definitely was trying to help him and he wasn't listening. Now he's starting to crack under pressure. All right, now he's feeling like he's missing out. Now he feel like he lost this angel. He lost this sweetheart that was in his life that cared about him, and what is he gonna do? Paths are closed now. Like, he's trying to figure out, like, how can he get back into her life? How can he get back into her good graces? All right, yeah, he's trying to wait on the right timing. It says right for the picking, perfect timing. Get ready. He's somebody who falls to temptation very easily with this apple here. All right, temptation is always around him, and but her, she's that forbidden fruit. All right, she's that forbidden fruit, which is totally different. And so he's trying to wait for the perfect moment to try to come back and apologize to her and get back on the same page with her, is what I'm seeing as far as communication right now, and them not speaking. Wow, that's freaking crazy, bro. Like, you really think that this girl is going to want to talk to you? All right, so if you want her to talk to you, then what is you going to say? What's the conversation going to be like if they have this conversation? Is he even going to be being real and telling the truth? Like, what's the conversation that's going to be had? Is any work going to be done, or is he coming back around just talking with the same old mess? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm seeing distant future in reverse. So, like I said, he's not trying to let too much time go by. All right? Like, he definitely not trying to let too much time go by. Yeah, listen, did Love on the Brain come out? Came out twice now. Heavy on the love on the brain. Heavy on the she's on his mind. And on heavy on it, okay? Both decks said it. So he can't stop thinking about her and trying to figure out how he's gonna get back into her energy and cause her to start talking to him again. It definitely got him feeling some type of way that she's in the energy of being unbothered. All right, she's very unbothered right now at this time, and he feels some type of way about that. All right, that's why it's coming out in reverse, because he's like, I'm about to make sure that you no longer unbothered by me, that you always got me on your mind with this distant future in reverse. He like, very soon I will be coming back to put myself back on your mind. All right, he's definitely trying to manifest that. Okay, and if he can't, then he wants to destroy anything. He wants to destroy any other possibility of her having somebody else. All right, I can't make it up with manifestation in reverse. Listen, monitoring that fly. Here go that fly again. That's that monitoring spirit stuff. He is like a freaking bug. All right, on the wall, trying to see what she got going trying to see what she got going on, hoping and praying that somebody new don't come into her life or whatever, and that he could destroy whatever type of real love that she could possibly have. All right, with this destruction in real love, he don't want to see her just completely move on and put an end to their relationship. I can't make it up with voodoo and death magic in reverse, bro. This is the same old. I'm gonna leave this right here. This is the same old BS, because I already know that she's not gonna be in that energy. All right, and this is gonna have him very, very concerned, all all right, with this concern in reverse. That she no longer cares whether or not he's aligned. She don't care no more. She's not concerned whether or not he wants to get in alignment and do what he's supposed to be doing, because he hasn't been doing it before. Didn't Priest come out? And now Priest is coming out here? Listen, I cannot make this up, bro. Ancestors is like, listen, we told you, we said it, we said what we said, what we said. Priest, here we go right here. Priest. Oh my God, move a little faster, Jessica, if you can. Sorry, y'all, I'm moving hella slow. Yeah, so this is what she was focused on, him being in his divine energy and actually believing in God and believing in a higher source and power, and knowing that everything that he had been through doesn't make him a victim, that he can still be strong and overcome everything, right? That he don't have to create blockages for himself and keep holding himself back due to what he's been through in the past. But instead, he chooses to be a bully. He chooses to hurt other people. He chooses to let all of that stuff that he's been through guide him, and he chooses not to be in his priest energy. And she no longer cares about whether or not he wants to do that. He's trying to create endings for her, possibly, cause some problems for her. If she can't, if nobody can have, if I can't have you, nobody can type thing. But she don't care. All right, she like, look, I can't make it up with blocked and child in reverse. She said, I don't care nothing about no lies you telling. I don't care nothing about your unhealed wounds with this trusting coming out in reverse. She like, I don't trust you no more. I don't care nothing. I don't even know if you was telling the truth about all of those wounds. Shoot, you might have, who knows, all right? But either way, she don't care no more, because she feels like he's using that as a front. All right, that's what she's saying. You using that shit to get over on people. At some point, you got to stop being a child. At some point, you got to heal those inner childhood wounds. At some point, you got to grow up and stop letting that hold you back. So yeah, she's blocking him out. She's not giving him no access to her anymore. And she don't want to hear nothing about what she's going cold on him. All right, and she feel like because he's been bullying and he's been cold and he's been treating her badly and he hasn't been cherishing her, then she don't have to deal with him. Right, the ancestors is definitely not pleased, and the ancestors is definitely blocking. All right, and the ancestors is definitely the ones creating the obstacles and stopping her from being able to go near him, because she is a starseed. All right, she is a seer. She is a child of the divine, and they are not going to allow her to be manipulated. They are not going to allow that high priestess energy that she carries, her intuition, her gut feeling, all of that stuff. They're not going to allow that to be manipulated anymore. All right, they're not going to allow her to be led astray and believe that she's going to have some sort of family, or that they're going to have a happily ever after. They do not give that at all. And she might have thought that in the past, or he was convincing her of that once he did the healing, once he finally stopped being so childish, that he was going to finally come back around for her. Ancestors is like, do not believe that. See this shit for what it is, believe it, and know it's the truth, that this person has attachments. Didn't I say? Bro, they're saying the same thing over and over again. He needs to go heal. So that's what that is. Go ahead and give me the outcome for each of them here. Give me the outcome for each of them, and we'll do Moonbyul's outcome on top. And like I said, the energy can always change. This is just for now what I'm seeing in the cards, and the energy of what's going to be the outcome of these two's relationship, friendship, entanglement, whatever they got going on, because it's deep and it's heavy, and I could be in this stuff for a long time because it's very juicy. But I'm gonna just go ahead and close it out and see what is the outcome for both of them. All right, so we got Moonbyul, enabling in reverse. Bro, I freaking love my ancestors, bro. The way I would, y'all see me shuffle the cards. I can't make this shit up. I can't make it up. She's not trying to enable him no more. She's like, I have to take a step back, but this step back in reverse. Like, she has no choice. That's how she feels. Like, she don't have no choice but to permanently take a step back, because she doesn't want to keep enabling him. Yeah, listen, she's going to be focused, all right, with this study. She's going to be focusing on herself. She's going to be getting to know herself, working on her, all right, confirmation, improving her knowledge and her inner guidance and her gut feeling, and really learning more about her own intuition and her ancestors and her angelic guidance, and the way that her spirituality, and what does she really believe when it comes to her spiritual practice and her beliefs. That's what she's going to be focusing on, studying the divine, and studying occultism and esotericism, and learning about and figuring out where she fits into that, okay, and finding a proper mentor when it comes to that, all right, and taking a step back from being an enabler and a healer, all right. She understands that she spends a lot of time being a teacher, All right, and now it's time for her to go back and be a student and allow somebody else to be a mentor for her, but in a positive way, in a good way. All right, and let's see what is going to be the outcome for Jin coming from the bottom. Acceptance in reverse. Yeah, he's gonna struggle to accept himself and accept the fact that they're not gonna move forward with the type of relationship that they have. It's gonna, yeah, listen, he's definitely gonna be struggling with bravery and learning how to take a chance, but at some point it's going to be forced on him. All right, it's gonna, whether he wants to accept it or not, this is going to be forced on him with this courageous heart and take a chance in reverse. He's not going to have no choice but to be brave and just keep it pushing and keep moving forward and do better and try to make better choices and take better risks moving forward, because he's not going to be able to move forward with her. So he's going to have to just accept that, be real with himself about it, try to be smarter and make better decisions and heal his heart, so that way he can find somebody that actually wants to indulge and engage with him. And then let's go ahead and split the deck about the energy between the two of them. Reach out in reverse. I can't. This is crazy. This is going to be the card for the end. This is the card for the reading. Reach out in reverse, because they're not going to be speaking, and I don't see them moving forward being very close again. They may, have their little run-ins as far as what they do for work, but they're not going to be as intimately close as they used to be, because she understands that if she does, then she would just be enabling the cycle and continuing the codependency. So that's what I have as far as Jin and Moonbyul. This one was juicy. This one was really interesting, unexpected. I really didn't see that coming, but definitely a good read for sure. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I love y'all, and I will see y'all later.